Welcome to the world of flavors from Gastronot's perspective. Have you ever walked past a bakery and suddenly been transported back to your grandmother's kitchen? Or opened a jar of spices and felt a memory stir you before a single taste touched your tongue? That's the power of aroma. It's invisible, but it speaks louder than most flavors on the plate. In this chapter, we're going to slow down and explore what aroma really is, how it works, why it matters, and how it shapes the way we experience everything from a morning coffee to a perfectly balanced dish. Understanding aroma isn't just about science, it's about decoding one of the most intimate ways we connect to food, memory, and meaning. Introduction: the essence of aromas. In our exploration of aromas, let us begin with two fundamental questions. What is an aroma? And where are aromas used? At their core, aromas are carefully crafted compounds added to foods to create or enhance scents and flavors, enriching our sensory experiences and elevating the appeal of countless products. In Turkish, aroma translates directly to a pleasant smell, yet its significance goes far beyond that simple definition. The chemistry behind aroma molecules is a captivating, intricate subject that forms the foundation of our sensory experiences. Whether in perfumery, food flavors, or everyday scents, these molecules, known also as fragrant compounds, shape the distinctive smells and tastes we encounter in the world around us. By delving into the chemistry of these small yet potent compounds, we uncover the profound impact they can have on our senses and emotions. Aroma molecules are classified as organic compounds. They are composed of carbon atoms bonded with hydrogen and often paired with oxygen, nitrogen, or sulfur. These volatile molecules evaporate easily, dispersing into the air where they can be detected by our olfactory system. Within the nose, specialized receptors interpret these molecules, transforming them into distinct sensations that elicit memory, emotion, and perception. The structural diversity of aroma molecules is astounding, giving rise to a vast spectrum of scents and flavors. The shape and arrangement of atoms within each molecule dictate its unique scent or flavor characteristics. Even a slight alteration in structure can completely transform an aroma profile, illustrating the delicate balance that defines each molecule's identity. In the culinary and food industries, aroma compounds are key to defining the sensory qualities of products. They occur naturally as byproducts of physiological and enzymatic reactions or through microbial processes in fermentation. During food processing, aromas can also be generated or modified by chemical and microbial changes, significantly impacting the food's quality, sensory appeal, and shelf life. Processes such as enzymatic activity, fermentation, lipid oxidation, and thermal reactions, like the Maillard reaction and caramelization, are all instrumental in the creation of new aroma compounds. Modern advancements in food technology have even led to non-thermal processing techniques and nanotechnology, which enable producers to craft aromas in new ways, preserving or intensifying flavors while maintaining food safety. Aroma molecules come in various forms, some of the most well-known categories being terpenes, lactones, aldehydes, ketones, pyrazines, and esters. Each of these groups contributes uniquely to the palette of aromas we experience. Terpenes, for instance, are prominent in essential oils derived from citrus, pine, and floral sources, providing the fresh, vibrant, and often floral notes we associate with these plants. Aldehydes, known for their fresh, clean scent, and ketones, which often carry sweet or fruity notes, are particularly valued in perfumery for the bright, top notes they deliver upon application. Esters, another class of aroma molecules, contribute the sweet, fruity scents found in apples, strawberries, and bananas, while lactones, like decolatone, add a signature fruitiness, reminiscent of peaches. Pyrazines, on the other hand, are commonly associated with the warm, roasted, and nutty scents of coffee, chocolate, and toasted foods, providing comfort and depth. Aroma chemistry is also crucial to the stability and longevity of scents. While some aroma molecules are highly volatile and evaporate rapidly, leaving only fleeting impressions, others are more stable and can linger, enveloping the senses for extended periods. The artistry of creating memorable scents lies in the careful selection and combination of these molecules, blending fleeting and enduring aromas to evoke a complete, layered experience. In the end, understanding the chemistry of aroma molecules not only deepens our appreciation for perfumery and flavor creation but also reveals the science behind how these compounds influence our emotions and sensory experiences. By recognizing the intricate structures and transformations of these molecules, we appreciate the artistry and precision that bring life to the subtle nuances in the aromas that surround us. Aroma through the ages, a journey in taste. Aromas have not only been created by flavor experts for consumer satisfaction. Throughout history, they have been utilized by various cultures for a wide range of purposes. As far back as prehistoric times, herbs and spices were used to enhance the flavor of food in ancient civilizations such as Egypt and China. In the Middle Ages, before the advent of refrigeration, spices and aromas were essential for preserving meats and were also used as medicinal remedies. It was believed that these remedies could stimulate hormonal secretions in the body, thus promoting healing. Early Egyptians are known to have flavored their foods with dill, cumin, marjoram, coriander, sesame, thyme, and even cinnamon. They also used honey as a natural sweetener. Since the earliest days of recorded history, spices and aromas have enriched both our food and our lives. From ancient times onward, the pursuit of more flavorful food and drink has been a constant part of human life. People in Europe and the Middle East discovered methods to distill and extract essential oils and resins. Even in the Middle Ages, monks captured these essences and used them to enhance food flavors. By the 1800s, German and Swiss companies were pioneering the modern aroma industry by deriving aroma compounds that naturally occur in foods, significantly expanding the market for flavors. In the United States, many flavor companies initially imported essential oils and extracts from Europe, but soon began formulating and manufacturing ingredients domestically to meet local economic and market needs. At the start of the 20th century, the growing demand from food and beverage companies further fueled the flavor industry. Today, added flavors are found in most products we enjoy. These flavors can enhance existing tastes naturally found in foods and drinks or be used in inventive ways to add new tastes to snacks, juices, and even water. Ultimately, regardless of the use, the spice and aroma industry has always been driven by demand. The pursuit of spices and flavors was among the earliest forces of globalization. Spices, among the first globally traded goods, were extraordinarily valuable worldwide. From the beginning, the flavor industry has been intrinsically linked to the broader food industries in Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and, in the last century, the United States. Chapter 1. Understanding aroma. Aroma is defined as a combination of taste and smell, creating a sensory impression that reflects the chemical properties of a food or substance. It serves as a vital element in our perception of flavors. Defining flavoring agents are substances that impart taste to another material, altering the properties of soluble compounds to create sweet, sour, sharp, or other desirable flavors. These agents primarily focus on modifying or enhancing the flavors of natural food products, as well as crafting flavors for items that may lack appealing tastes. Most flavoring agents emphasize both scent and taste. The primary role of aromas is to enrich the flavor profile of foods, as they do not contribute any nutritional value. Key characteristics of aroma enhancement of taste. Aromas play a crucial role in amplifying the flavors of food products, making them more enjoyable. Customer satisfaction. The presence of appealing aromas significantly influences customer satisfaction and can affect purchasing decisions. Influence on consumption. The right flavor can encourage greater consumption of food products, enhancing overall dining experiences. Flavor addition. The main purpose of an aroma is to enhance the taste of food, creating a more pleasurable eating experience. Lack of nutritional value. It is important to note that aromas do not provide any nutritional benefits. Volatility and stability. Most aromas are volatile and can be chemically unstable in the presence of air, light, moisture, and high temperatures. This volatility can impact their effectiveness and longevity. Masking unpleasant odors. Aromas are often used to disguise unpleasant smells and unappealing tastes, improving the overall appeal of food products. Wide applications. Beyond food, aromas are commonly used in cosmetics, personal care products, and a variety of other applications, highlighting their versatility. Stability and quality. The stability of aromas is a critical factor, as it directly correlates with the quality and acceptability of food products. Ensuring that aromas maintain their integrity is essential for consumer satisfaction. The chemistry and physiology of aroma. To understand the chemistry and physiology of aroma, let's follow the journey of an aromatic beverage as it travels through the eyes, nose, and mouth. Orthonasal olfaction. Orthonasal olfactory perception occurs when we inhale chemical stimuli, odor compounds, through the front of our nose. In a glass, volatile aromatic compounds rise to the surface of the alcoholic beverage. These aromatics include aldehydes, ketones, and other small molecules that float easily in the air. As aromatic compounds enter the nasal cavity, they first pass through the nasal hairs, then encounter specialized olfactory cilia, microscopic hairs that trap dust and other foreign particles. These impurities are eventually swept into the nasal mucus for elimination. Meanwhile, the odor compounds begin to interact with the olfactory receptors. While the mouth can distinguish 5 basic tastes and a limited range of bitterness, the nose has the remarkable ability to identify tens of thousands, even millions, of different scents. Each olfactory receptor is equipped with cilia. When these receptors detect a specific scent or a group of scents, they relay their findings to the olfactory bulb, a brain structure located just above the nasal cavity and just behind the eyes, via the olfactory nerve. The olfactory bulb acts as a central hub for processing sensory information related to smell. If a particular scent is deemed worthy of further investigation, the data are transmitted to the olfactory cortex, a term that refers to the various brain regions involved in processing olfactory information. Unique among the senses, olfaction has a direct pathway to the brain's cortex. All other senses first pass through the thalamus, a small structure located at the top of the spinal cord responsible for directing sensory input. It is crucial to note that while the olfactory bulb can prioritize certain scents over others, it does not eliminate any. In contrast, the thalamus filters sensory inputs as if they had never existed. This intricate process highlights the complexity and significance of aroma in our perception of flavor and the overall sensory experience. Taste and mouthfeel. Aromatic beverage experience. Before an aromatic drink even reaches the mouth, sight and smell trigger the body to prepare for a gastronomic experience. The pancreas secretes digestive hormones, and the salivary glands release saliva, a salty mixture of water and proteins. This means that paying attention to a drink can actually enhance its taste, as saliva contains mucins and proteins that contribute to a moist or sticky mouthfeel. A conscious choice to focus on a drink activates the brain's prefrontal cortex and directs more sensory input to other brain regions, such as the olfactory bulb, thalamus, amygdala, responsible for emotional responses, and hippocampus, responsible for forming long-term memories of the experience. The gustatory system, or sense of taste, is the sensory system partly responsible for the perception of taste, flavor. Taste is the perception triggered by the chemical reaction of a substance in the mouth with the taste receptor cells in the taste buds, primarily on the tongue. Alongside smell and trigeminal nerve stimulation, recording texture, pain, and temperature, taste determines the flavors of food and other substances. Humans have taste receptors in taste buds located in areas such as the upper surface of the tongue and the epiglottis. The gustatory cortex is responsible for taste perception. The tongue is covered with thousands of tiny bumps called papillae, which are visible to the naked eye. Inside each papilla are hundreds of taste buds, except for filiform papillae, which do not contain taste buds. Flavor degustation. Taste buds are spread around the tongue and mouth, with between 2,000 and 5,000 taste buds at the back and front of the tongue, and others located on the roof of the mouth, the sides, the back, and the throat. Each taste bud contains 50 to 100 taste receptor cells. When an aromatic drink enters the mouth, the taste receptors are activated. These taste receptors in the mouth detect 7 basic tastes: sweetness, sourness, saltiness, bitterness, umami, fattiness, and sharpness. Scientific experiments have shown that these 7 tastes exist and are distinct from each other. Taste buds can differentiate different tastes when they interact with various molecules or ions. Sweetness, umami, and bitter tastes are triggered when molecules bind to G-protein-coupled receptors on the cell membranes of taste buds. Saltiness and sourness are perceived when alkaline metals or hydrogen ions meet taste buds, respectively. The basic tastes contribute only partially to the sensation and flavor of food in the mouth. Other factors include the smell perceived by the nasal olfactory epithelium, the texture detected through various mechanoreceptors, muscle nerves, etc., the temperature perceived by thermal receptors, and sensations like coolness, as with menthol, and sharpness, as with spiciness, through chemesthesis. As the gustatory system detects both harmful and beneficial substances, all basic tastes elicit either caution or desire based on the body's response to what they perceive. Sweetness helps identify energy-rich foods, while bitterness alerts people to toxins. Taste buds. What is mouthfeel? Mouthfeel is perceived by the system called the somatosensory system. This system is present not only in the mouth but also throughout the body, including in skeletal muscles, joints, internal organs, and the cardiovascular system. The system is triggered when it is affected by physical effects such as pressure, touch, traction, and vibrations, sense of touch, pain, and temperature. Moreover, it includes the perception of the position and posture of the body and body parts, kinesthesia, which plays a role in mouthfeel as the tongue explores and identifies the size, shape, and texture of a food item during chewing. The nerve endings in the teeth also provide information about the structure of the food, how hard it is, whether it crunches or cracks, or whether it is elastic, and the size of the particles in the food. Similar to taste impressions, nerve signals from mouthfeel travel from the brainstem to the brain, to the thalamus, and from there to the somatosensory center. Mouthfeel is activated in the nerve endings with receptors in the epithelial layer of the mouth. These receptors are linked to receptors in other parts of the body's somatosensory system, such as in the skin and muscles. However, the density of receptors in the mouth is much higher than elsewhere, indicating that mouthfeel is a highly perceptual sense, particularly vital for survival. Dimensions of mouthfeel in liquids. Mouthfeel refers to the physical sensations a food or beverage creates in the mouth and is distinct from taste. Together with taste and smell, mouthfeel is a fundamental sensory characteristic in determining the overall flavor of a food item. It is sometimes referred to as texture. The sensation that beverages leave in the mouth arises from the lack of texture variety compared to solid foods. The most studied dimensions of mouthfeel, such as crispness, firmness, and chewiness, apply to solid foods rather than liquids. The applicable sensations for liquids are as follows. Viscosity refers to products with internal friction or resistance to flow. Dense, used for products with high calories and dense body. Light, refers to products with low calories and a light body. Watery, used for products that contain or are mostly water. Creamy, refers to products with a fatty consistency or color resembling cream. Milky, refers to products containing a high amount of milk or mixed with milk. Smoothness, used for products that are not too hard or sharp but have a pleasant sweetness. Sharpness, refers to products with strong, spicy, hot, dizzying, dominant, sharp, biting, penetrating flavors. Astringency, refers to products with biting, harsh, sharp, cutting, bitter flavors. Warming, refers to products that trigger a warm sensation on the palate. Coolness and refreshing, refers to products that trigger a cold, refreshing sensation on the palate due to chemisthesis. Effervescent, bubbly, refers to products that are bubbly, sour, or tangy. Silky, refers to products with a delicate, light, elegant softness and smoothness. Velvety, refers to products with a smooth, rich, and soft taste. Metallic, refers to products that leave a lasting sour, bitter, or metallic taste in the mouth. Certain items like onions and garlic can create this sensation on the palate. Oily, refers to products with high amounts of liquid and solid fats. Buttery, refers to products containing butter. Burnt, refers to products that have gone beyond the caramel point to a dark tone. Moist, refers to products with a minimal amount of liquid that is barely noticeable. Hot, refers to products with the sharp, hot, fiery, and biting taste of spices. Bitter, refers to products with a strong or harsh aroma. Dry, refers to products lacking a sweet taste. Chemical interactions of aromas. Aromas and flavor compounds are generated through complex chemical interactions during food processing, storage, and preparation. Several key reactions play significant roles in the formation of these compounds, each contributing unique sensory characteristics to foods. Here's a more detailed breakdown of these interactions. Maillard reaction. The Maillard reaction is a non-enzymatic browning process that occurs between reducing sugars and amino acids when foods are exposed to heat. This reaction produces a wide range of aroma and flavor compounds, including pyrazines, aldehydes, and ketones, which contribute to roasted, nutty, and caramel-like flavors. The Maillard reaction is critical in flavor development for foods like coffee, bread, and meats. However, it can also produce some potentially undesirable compounds, such as acrylamide, which is a health concern in certain foods. Lipid, fat, oxidation. Lipid oxidation occurs when unsaturated fatty acids react with oxygen, leading to the formation of peroxides, aldehydes, and other volatile compounds. This process is influenced by factors such as light, temperature, and the presence of metals. Lipid oxidation is essential for developing certain flavors, particularly in aged or cooked meat products. However, it is also responsible for rancidity in fats and oils, which negatively impacts the aroma and shelf life of products. Antioxidants, such as tocopherols and ascorbic acid, are commonly added to inhibit lipid oxidation and maintain flavor quality. Sugar degradation. Sugar degradation involves the breakdown of sugars, especially under high heat, resulting in the formation of caramelized compounds. Caramelization is a thermally driven process in which sugars, such as glucose and fructose, undergo dehydration, fragmentation, and polymerization to produce brown pigments and characteristic caramel-like flavors. Sugar degradation can also produce acids, esters, and furan compounds that add complexity to the aroma profile. It plays a crucial role in the flavor profile of baked goods, confections, and roasted foods. Interactions between proteins and ribonucleotides. Proteins and ribonucleotides interact, especially during thermal processing, to generate umami flavors. The degradation of nucleotides such as inosine monophosphate, IMP, and guanosine monophosphate, GMP, can amplify savory flavors when combined with amino acids from proteins. This reaction is often harnessed in broths, sauces, and meats to intensify flavors naturally. Pigments and vitamins. Pigments like chlorophyll, carotenoids, and anthocyanins, as well as vitamins such as C and B vitamins, undergo transformations that impact color and aroma. These compounds can degrade due to light, heat, or pH changes, leading to aroma shifts. For example, carotenoid degradation can yield beta-ion 1, a floral-smelling compound contributing to the aroma of certain fruits and vegetables. Similarly, vitamin degradation can lead to aroma changes, influencing product appeal. Degradation products. Various degradation products arise from amino acids, lipids, and sugars. For example, sulfur-containing amino acids, such as cysteine, can break down into thiols and sulfides, which contribute savory, garlic, and onion-like aromas. The breakdown of organic acids or sugars under heat also generates aldehydes and furans, adding depth to flavor profiles. Other flavor-influencing reactions. Some unique processes in specific foods further enhance flavors. Fermentation, for instance, produces alcohols, esters, and acids that impart complex aromas in products like cheese, yogurt, and bread. Similarly, enzymatic reactions, such as lipase activity in cheese maturation, result in free fatty acids that contribute to characteristic dairy flavors. These chemical interactions create the foundation for the rich and diverse aromas in foods, enhancing sensory appeal and consumer enjoyment. By understanding these reactions, food scientists can manipulate conditions to optimize aroma profiles and improve food quality. Natural aromas. Natural aromas are made from substances derived from natural sources, like plants and animals, and are not chemically altered. They can be obtained from spices, leaves, roots, eggs, tree bark, edible plant parts, herbs, meat, dairy products, poultry, etc., through processes such as roasting, heating, or enzymolysis. Ingredients used for creating natural aromas include essential oils, extracts, food-grade essences, oleoresin, hydrosol, aroma waters, artificial aromas. Artificial aromas are defined as mixtures of chemical substances that give taste and smell similar to natural ones. These are chemically synthesized compounds that are distinct from natural products and not found in nature. Ingredients used for creating artificial aromas include essences for cosmetics products created with chemical substances such as esters, ketones, pyrazines, phenolics, and terpenoids. Nature-identical aromas. Nature-identical aromas are substances that are either chemically isolated from aromatic raw materials or synthetically produced. They are chemically identical to natural substances but may be obtained through the chemical modification of other natural materials. For example, synthetic vanillin is identical to the vanillin found in vanilla but is not derived from vanilla beans. Molecules. Some of ingredients. Apple, esters. For example, ethyl butyrate gives apple its sweet and fruity aroma. Aldehydes. E-2-hexenol gives a green, fresh leafy scent. Alcohols. 1-octen-3-ol has a mildly mushroom-like, fruity aroma. Vanilla. Vanillin. The characteristic sweet, creamy aroma of vanilla. Eugenol. Spicy, clove-like aroma. Acetovanillone. Adds deeper, woody tones to vanilla aroma. Lemon. Limonene. Dominant, refreshing, citrus scent in citrus aromas. Citral. Sharp, lemony taste and aroma. Geraniol. Floral and citrus notes. Mint. Menthol. Characteristic refreshing and cooling aroma. Menthone. Slightly sharp, minty aroma. Coffee. Furfural thiol. Crucial for roasted coffee aroma. 2-methylpropanol, sweet, caramel-like aroma. Strawberry, ethyl methylphenylglycidate, sweet, fruity strawberry aroma. Faraniol, sweet, fruity aroma close to caramel. Rose, citronellol, sweet, floral, and slightly citrusy aroma. Geraniol, sweet, rosy scent. Orange, limonene, fresh citrus aroma, main compound in orange peel oil. Myrcene, sweet, spicy, resinous notes. Linalool, floral, slightly sweet aroma. Pear, ethyl 2-methylbutyrate, sweet, fruity pear-like aroma. Hexanol, fresh, green, fruity note. Butanol, mildly sweet and fruity tones. Fig, hexanol, green, fresh fruity aroma. Benzaldehyde, mild almond-like scent. Faraniol, sweet, caramel-like notes. Grape, beta-damascenone, strong sweet, fruity, rose-like aroma. Linalool, floral, citrus aroma. Hexenol, fresh green note. Blueberry, methylanthranilide, sweet, fruity, reminiscent of orange blossom. Ethyl 2-methylbutyrate, fruity, sweet aroma. Limonene, mild citrus note. Cornelian cherry, or cranberry, ethyl butyrate, sweet, fruity aroma. Hexanol, fresh green note. 2-methylbutanol, sweet, fruity tones. Blackberry, beta-ion 1, sweet, violet and citrus floral aroma. Hexanol, fresh green note. Faraniol, sweet, caramel-like aroma. Almond, benzaldehyde, characteristic bitter almond aroma. Cyanohydrin derivatives, components of bitter almond, toxic in large amounts. Walnut. Nonanol, mild oily, green, woody aroma. Hexanol, fresh green note. Furfuryl aldehyde, roasted, sweet notes. Hazelnut, filbertone, signature sweet hazelnut aroma. Vanillin, sweet vanilla-like note. Celery, sedanolide, characteristic celery aroma, mildly spicy and green. 3-butanyl isothiocyanate, sharp, slightly bitter note. Limonene, mild citrus note. Artichoke, 1,8-cineol, minty, eucalyptus-like aroma. Hexanol, fresh green note. Camphor, woody, resinous note. Rosemary, 1,8-cineol, minty, eucalyptus scent. Alpha-pinene, pine, fresh resin aroma. Camphor, sharp, woody scent. Thyme, thymol, sharp, spicy aroma. Carvacrol, thyme and sage aroma. Linalool, mild floral note. Magnolia, linalool, sweet, floral aroma. Geraniol, rose-like, sweet floral scent. Benzyl acetate, sweet, fruity aroma. Chamomile, alpha-bisabolol, sweet, mildly spicy, soft aroma. Chamazoline, provides blue color in chamomile, mildly spicy aroma. Farnesene, floral and fruity notes. Elderflower, linalool, sweet, floral aroma. Phenylacetaldehyde, rose-like scent. Benzyl alcohol, sweet, mild floral aroma. Jasmine, jasmine lactone, sweet, creamy fruity aroma. Benzyl acetate, sweet, rosy aroma. Indole, intense, animalic floral note, pleasant in low amounts. Turmeric. Curcumin, gives turmeric its yellow color, mild aroma contribution. Turmerone, alpha and beta turmerone, woody, spicy, slightly balsamic aroma. Zingiberine, spicy, warm, ginger-like note. Saffron, saffronol, sweet, hay-like, aromatic fragrance, main saffron aroma. Picrochryssin, bitter, contributes to flavor, less aroma. Crocin, responsible for color, not aroma. Cinnamon, cinnamaldehyde, warm, sweet, spicy cinnamon scent, dominant aroma. Eugenol, clove-like, spicy note present in some cinnamon types. Coumarin, sweet, vanilla-like aroma, in some cinnamon types. Cardamom, 1,8-cineol, cool, minty, eucalyptus-like aroma. Alpha-terpinyl acetate, sweet, fruity, floral scent. Linalool, floral and citrusy aroma. Anise, anethole, sweet, licorice-like aroma, primary compound. Estragole, similar to anethole but slightly spicier. M-anisaldehyde, sweet, almond-like aroma. Clove, eugenol, strong, spicy, warm, clove aroma, main compound. Beta-caryophyllene, woody, spicy note. Acetylugenol, sweet, smoky nuance. Banana, isoamyl acetate, isoamyl ethanoate, the dominant compound, very sweet, fruity, classic banana aroma. Hexanol, fresh, green note. 1-octen-3ol, mushroomy, fruity nuance in ripe bananas. Butyl acetate, fruity, pear apple-like note that complements the banana profile. 3-methylbutanol, malty, ripe fruit tone. Laurel leaves, sweet bay, Laurus nobilis. Note: laurel leaves and bay leaves often refer to the same plant, but can vary slightly by species and region. Mainly used dried or fresh in culinary applications. 1. 8-cineol, eucalyptol, camphorous, minty, eucalyptus-like. Dominant note: eugenol. Spicy, clove-like warmth. Methyl eugenol. Sweet, spicy, slightly floral. Linalool. Floral, lightly citrusy. Alpha-terpinyl acetate. Herbal, fruity, sweet. Bay leaf, Mediterranean type. Laurus nobilis. Same species as laurel leaves, so very similar composition. However, some regional or commercially sold bay leaves come from different species, e.g., California bay, Indian bay leaf, which may differ. 1. 8-cineol, fresh, camphor-like scent, primary aroma. Eugenol. Warm, spicy, clove-like. Myrcene. Herbal, slightly balsamic. Methyl eugenol. Sweet and spicy nuance. Sabinine. Woody, peppery note. Zucchini, courgette. Zucchini has a mild, watery, green aroma with delicate vegetal notes. Hexanol. Fresh, green, grassy scent. E-2-hexenol. Leafy green, slightly sweet aroma. 1-hexanol. Herbal, green. Beta-ion 1. Slightly floral, sweet, gives a subtle depth. 2-pentylfuran. Slightly roasted, green note. Broccoli. Broccoli has a sulfurous, earthy, and green aroma, especially when cooked, due to its glucosinolate content. Dimethyl trisulfide, DMTS. Cooked brassica aroma, strong sulfur note. Methanethiol. Sulfurous, cabbage-like. Isothiocyanates, e.g., sulforaphane, spicy, slightly bitter aroma, contributes to health benefits too. Hexanol. Green, fresh aroma. 3-methylbutanol. Slightly nutty, cooked note. Spinach. Fresh spinach has a leafy, metallic green aroma. Cooking releases earthier notes. Hexanol. Grassy, green aroma. E-2-hexenol. Leafy green, slightly fruity. 1-OCTEN3OL. Mushroomy, earthy note, especially in older or wilted leaves. Benzaldehyde. Slightly almond-like, found in trace amounts. Phytol. Waxy, green aroma, from chlorophyll degradation. Chives. Allium schoenoprosum. Chives have a mild, fresh, grassy onion garlic aroma. Aloe methyl disulfide. Mild onion, garlic aroma. Dipropyl disulfide. Sulfurous, sweet onion note. Methylpropyl disulfide. Pungent, typical of alliums. Dimethyl trisulfide. Strong sulfur, cooked onion character. Hexanol. Fresh, green, grassy aroma. 2-methylbutanol. Slightly nutty, sweet tone. The volatile sulfur compounds are formed from enzymatic breakdown of SALK, N-YL cysteine sulfoxides, like methane and all-in, when the tissue is cut or crushed. Scallions, green onions, Allium fistulosum or immature Allium cepa. Scallions are slightly stronger than chives but milder than bulb onions. Propyl disulfide. Main compound in fresh green onion aroma. Thiosulfonates, e.g., allicin, fresh cut, sharp, and slightly metallic onion-like notes. Dipropyl trisulfide. More cooked or mature onion profile. Hexanol. Fresh green, grassy scent. 2-pentylfuran. Slightly roasted, vegetal aroma. Linalool, trace, may contribute faint floral sweetness in green parts. The hidden complexity of zucchini, deconstructing and reconstructing its flavor. At first glance, zucchini, cucurbita pepo, appears almost bland, a watery, pale green vegetable used more for its texture than its taste. Yet this culinary chameleon carries a surprisingly complex and delicate flavor system, shaped by volatile compounds, amino acids, enzymatic activity, and heat transformation. As with many subtle ingredients, its true value is revealed not in bold expression but in nuance, support, and transformation. The paradox of neutrality. Zucchini is often classified as a neutral vegetable in both culinary and industrial applications. This designation is misleading. Its neutrality is not the absence of flavor but the presence of low-intensity compounds that contribute freshness, vegetal greenness, light nuttiness, and mild umami, depending on preparation. When raw, zucchini releases aldehydes and alcohols that are characteristic of green plants, reminiscent of freshly cut grass or snapped stems. Upon cooking, particularly roasting or steaming, its chemistry shifts. Natural sugars begin to caramelize, amino acids contribute umami, and lipid oxidation can create creamy or lightly nutty notes. Key flavor compounds in zucchini. Zucchini contains a relatively low concentration of volatile aroma molecules, but they span a diverse chemical range. Compound Z-3-hexenol, E-2-hexenol, hexanol, linalool, beta-ion 1. Sensory note: green, fresh cut leaf. Sharp green, slightly fruity. Green apple, grassy. Floral, citrus. Violet, fruity earthy. Sotalone, trace, nutty, curry-like. Glutamic acid, umami. Maltol, cooked, sweet, caramel. Chemical class: C6-aldehyde, aldehyde, terpene alcohol, neurisoprenoid, lactone, amino acid, furanone. These molecules interact with one another and the matrix of the zucchini itself. Its high water content, over 95%, acts as a diluting buffer, meaning that no single aroma dominates, a fact that makes zucchini such a flexible partner in both savory and sweet food systems. Enzymes and volatility: when zucchini is cut or grated, lipoxygenase enzymes become active, breaking down polyunsaturated fatty acids into volatile aldehydes like E-2-hexenol and hexanol. These molecules are key contributors to the vegetable's fresh green aroma, but are highly unstable. They degrade within minutes unless stabilized or rapidly processed. Cooking halts this enzymatic activity and introduces thermal reactions that favor Maillard precursors, like glutamic acid and sugars, shifting the profile towards sweet, nutty, and umami-rich tones. Reconstructing zucchini flavor without zucchini. In modern food science and culinary innovation, there is increasing interest in rebuilding flavors from non-obvious sources, particularly when seasonality, sustainability, or dietary preferences limit ingredient use. Zucchini's flavor, while delicate, can be simulated or constructed using other food-safe aroma compounds or extracts. Key substitutes by sensory function. Zucchini flavor. Element: green grassy freshness, mild sweetness, nut and SS. Umami depth, floral citrus hint, creamy vegetal body. Analog ingredient or compound: E-2-hexenol, cucumber extract. Maltol, sotalone, butternut extract. Glutamic acid, yeast extract. Linalool, diluted potato or white bean puree. Source examples: apple peel, leafy greens. Carrot, squash, mushroom, kombu, basil, coriander, chickpea, rice. This approach is not just substitution, it is flavor architecture. By understanding zucchini's molecular composition, developers can create ingredients or formulas that mimic the sensory signature of zucchini. Using a scaffold of more accessible or concentrated sources. The flavor intelligence of mild vegetables. We tend to celebrate food for its boldness, the brash heat of chili, the overpowering sting of garlic, the richness of butter or truffle. But some of the most structurally vital flavors in cuisine arise not from dominance, but from subtle modulation. These are the vegetables that speak in low tones: carrot, cauliflower, celery, green bean, zucchini. They do not shout, they shape the background. Their contribution is often perceived not as a character, but as an environment, the space in which other flavors live. Understanding these vegetables requires a different kind of sensory intelligence. Instead of looking for signature aromas, one learns to recognize balance, texture, aroma harmony, and layering. In this chapter, we uncover the molecular vocabulary that gives these vegetables their identity and explore how their sensory cues can be decoded, interpreted, and, when necessary, reassembled. Celery. The botanical whisper with a metallic edge. Celery, Opium graveolens, is a paradox of familiarity and mystery. Its crispness, its unmistakable herbal aroma, and its silent dominance in mirepoix all mask a biochemical arsenal far more aggressive than its taste implies. Celery's distinct character comes from PHT halides, especially 3N-butylphthalate, compounds rare in the broader food world, which create that penetrating, almost metallic green flavor. Celery also contains small amounts of limonene, contributing a citrus brightness, and apiole, which lends a faint floral tone resembling parsley and coriander. What makes celery so structurally valuable in cooking is its role as a bridge. Its molecules bind green freshness to savory warmth, its aroma diffuses across fat and water, and its fibrous texture lends tactile contrast to otherwise soft dishes. In flavor construction, celery notes are often rebuilt not through direct imitation, but through blended cues: cucumber for green freshness, parsley for herbaceousness, and lovage or fennel seed for spicy bitter resonance. Cauliflower. White stillness with a sulfur core. Cauliflower carries the appearance of neutrality, pale, tender, low aroma. Yet its chemical core tells another story. As a member of the Brassicaceae family, cauliflower contains glucosinolates that, when enzymatically broken, yield sulfur-containing compounds like dimethyl trisulfide and methanol. These molecules are responsible for the warm, cabbage-like smell released during steaming or roasting. But that is only the base note. Upon cooking, cauliflower reveals deeper tones, nutty sweetness, from compounds like maltol, and faint caramel aromas, the result of mild Maillard browning and sugar decomposition. There is also a hint of sodalone, a compound known for its presence in maple syrup and aged sake, suggesting a latent sweetness that appears only in thermal transformation. Cauliflower's gift lies in its plasticity. It accepts fermentation, caramelization, infusion. Its flavor molecules respond to treatment. To understand cauliflower is to understand how sulfur and sugar can occupy the same aromatic space, not in contrast, but in concert. Carrot. Earth and light intertwined. The carrot has always been considered sweet, but that sweetness is only the beginning. Carrots contain volatile terpenes that interact with sugars and earthy compounds in unexpected ways. Among these is geosmin, a powerful molecule that smells of freshly turned soil, the same compound that gives beets and rain-dampened earth their smell. Geosmin is so strong that it must be used sparingly, if at all, in flavor reconstitution. Layered beneath the earth is beta-ion-1, a neurisoprenoid with a violet-like aroma that connects carrot to fruit, flower, and perfume. Carrots also produce pyrazines, particularly when roasted, which add toasted, nutty, and vegetal complexity. Thus, the carrot is both root and bloom, simultaneously grounded and aromatic. The reconstruction of carrot flavor is not mechanical. It demands a careful alignment of sweetness, earth, floral note, and green crispness. One does not replicate a carrot, one approximates the feeling of a carrot. Green bean. Tension between snap and softness. Green beans, Phaseolus vulgaris, embody tension. Their flavor is caught between leguminous density and fresh green snap. Chemically, they offer a suite of C6 compounds, especially Z-3 hexanol and hexanol, which lend that instant aroma of broken stems and cut grass. These aldehydes and alcohols, common to many green vegetables, degrade rapidly, part of why green beans taste best when just picked and barely cooked. They also hint at pyrazines and sulfur, depending on varietal and preparation method. When cooked longer, their aroma deepens toward starch and grain, similar to pea or lentil, while retaining a ghost of freshness. In industrial or extractive systems, green bean flavor is rarely isolated. Instead, its molecular notes are absorbed into vegetable bouillon bases, fermented broths, or background umami. Their role is structural, atmospheric. They shape the space around other flavors, without ever announcing themselves directly. Toward a new vocabulary of subtlety, these vegetables, and others like them, share more than just pale hues and soft textures. They represent a category of flavor we often overlook, the molecular infrastructure of cuisine. They do not define dishes, they support them. They offer the aromatic scaffolding upon which complexity is built. In the development of new food products, beverages, extracts, and functional foods, these mild ingredients are not blank slates, they are quiet architects. They provide green balance in herbal syrups, nutty weight in savory bases, umami frame in fermented snacks, and vegetal depth in botanical drinks. Understanding their chemistry, and how to replicate their function using aroma compounds, extract combinations, or flavor system design, gives the modern food developer a broader palette and a deeper understanding of what makes food truly balanced and alive. Types of extraction. Extraction. Extraction is the process of selectively removing a desired compound from a mixture using a solvent. For successful extraction, the compound must be more soluble in the solvent than in the original mixture. Common extraction methods include pressing, cold pressing, absorption, decoction, infusion, maceration, soxhlet extraction, ultrasonic extraction, percolation, and distillation. Cold pressing. Cold pressing or expression is commonly used in the production of essential and food oils. The term, expression, refers to any physical process that crushes or breaks the oil glands in biomass to release the oil, typically separated from the water oil emulsion by centrifugation. This technique is used particularly for citrus fruits, olives, nuts, and seeds. Infusion. Infusion involves steeping an organic solid, like leaves, in a liquid, usually water, to extract or soften the flavors. Decoction. Decoction is a process used for water-soluble and thermostable compounds, where the raw plant material is boiled in an extractor containing a specific amount of water for a defined period. Maceration. Maceration is one of the simplest extraction techniques, where coarse or powdered plant material is left in solvents like ethanol to extract bioactive compounds. Differences between maceration and infusion. Maceration involves extracting flavors by crushing or mixing, while infusion simply requires steeping the ingredients in alcohol or another solvent. Ethanol, for example, quickly absorbs natural oils, transferring flavors into the drink. Soxhlet extraction. Soxhlet extraction is commonly used for analytes that are thermally stable enough to undergo extensive extraction via boiling and condensing through a matrix. Ultrasonic extraction. Ultrasonic extraction involves applying high-power, low-frequency ultrasound waves to a mixture of botanical material and a solvent, releasing active compounds effectively. Percolation. Percolation extraction, often used in traditional Chinese medicine, involves continuously adding an extraction solvent to powdered medicinal material in a percolation tank, while collecting the extract simultaneously. Supercritical fluid extraction, SFE. SFE uses supercritical fluids, such as carbon dioxide, as the extraction solvent to separate a compound from a matrix. Conditions for carbon dioxide extraction require a temperature above 31 degrees Celsius and pressure above 74 bars. Enzyme-assisted extraction, EAE. EAE uses enzymes to break down cell walls, facilitating the release of bioactive substances. Common enzymes include cellulase, pectinase, and protease. Subcritical water extraction, SWE. SWE, an alternative to traditional organic solvent extraction, isolates bioactive compounds, especially antioxidants, using water under subcritical conditions. High hydrostatic pressure extraction, HHPE. HHPE is a non-thermal food preservation technique applying high pressure, with or without heat, to modify food properties, allowing the extraction of bioactive compounds with greater yield. Pulsed electric field, PEF, extraction. PEF is a non-thermal method that uses short electric pulses to inactivate microbes and preserve food quality without the detrimental effects of traditional heat methods. Steam distillation. Steam distillation is a separation process for purifying temperature-sensitive compounds. In this method, dry steam is passed through plant material, and the vapor is condensed and collected. Steam distillation is an alternative that operates at lower temperatures, around 50 degrees Celsius for certain materials, and is commonly used for producing essential oils and hydrosols. Rotary evaporator distillation. The rotary evaporator uses vacuum-assisted evaporation to remove solvents from a solution. It can efficiently capture the essence of raw materials, capturing delicate flavors not possible with conventional distillation. Cold water extraction. Cold water extraction is a gentle process used for materials needing preservation of active ingredients without heat, ideal for sensitive ingredients like tea, allowing active compounds to dissolve gradually in cold water. Sous vide extraction. Sous vide extraction involves placing the aromatic material in a vacuum-sealed bag and immersing it in a water bath set to a precise, controlled temperature. The low temperature, typically between 50 degrees Celsius to 85 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit to 185 degrees Fahrenheit, is maintained for several hours, gently drawing out flavors without overheating or altering delicate compounds. Sous vide extraction is ideal for preserving the integrity of flavors, especially in fresh herbs, fruits, and even spices. This method prevents oxidation and helps retain pure, clean flavors. Espresso extraction. Espresso extraction is a high-pressure brewing method that forces hot water through finely ground coffee to produce a concentrated coffee shot. The process is characterized by specific parameters, such as water temperature, pressure, grind size, and extraction time, all of which contribute to the flavor and texture of the final espresso. In espresso extraction, water is typically forced through the coffee grounds at 9 bars of pressure. This pressure is key to extracting the oils, soluble compounds, and aromatic compounds from the coffee beans, creating the rich, concentrated coffee known as espresso. During extraction, the process must be precise, with factors like the grind size of the coffee, the tamping pressure, and the dose of coffee playing crucial roles in the outcome. The process takes about 25 to 30 seconds, and the goal is to create a smooth, balanced shot with a rich crema, the golden, foamy layer on Top. The crema is a signature of a well-extracted espresso shot, contributing to its texture and flavor complexity. Enfleurage extraction. Enfleurage extraction is a technique designed to extract delicate aromatic compounds and flavors from liquid materials using a semi-permeable membrane for selective separation. The process begins with the pre-treatment of raw materials, which involves filtration and crushing to prepare the material for extraction. A pressure is then applied to drive the liquid through the membrane, resulting in two outcomes: the permeate, the extracted liquid, and the retentate, the residual material. The primary advantages of enfleurage extraction include the preservation of the integrity of flavors and aromas, as it does not involve heat or chemical solvents, making it an environmentally friendly choice suitable for food applications. This method is commonly used in producing concentrated extracts for food and beverages, essential oils, and flavorings. Reverse osmosis for extraction. Reverse osmosis for extraction focuses on concentrating flavors and separating compounds from liquid materials through the use of a semi-permeable membrane under pressure. The extraction process starts with initial filtration to remove larger particles from the feedstock, followed by applying high pressure to push the liquid through the membrane. This results in the collection of a concentrated extract while impurities are rejected. The advantages of reverse osmosis include its efficiency in removing water while retaining essential flavors, minimizing thermal degradation of sensitive compounds, and its scalability for large-scale production. It is widely used in concentrating fruit juices, dairy processing, and flavor extraction. Solvent extraction. Solvent extraction employs organic solvents to dissolve a broad range of soluble compounds from solid materials. In this technique, the plant material is soaked in a solvent that selectively dissolves the target compounds. After soaking, the solid residues are separated from the liquid extract through filtration. The solvent is then evaporated to yield a concentrated extract. Solvent extraction is highly versatile, allowing for a wide range of compounds to be extracted with high efficiency, and it enables the targeting of specific compounds based on the solvent used. This method is commonly utilized in producing essential oils, herbal extracts, and flavoring agents. Vacuum freeze drying extraction. Vacuum freeze drying extraction combines freezing with sublimation under vacuum conditions to preserve and extract flavors and nutrients without thermal degradation. The process begins with freezing the material to solidify its moisture, followed by reducing the pressure in a vacuum chamber, which allows the ice to sublimate directly into vapor. After moisture removal, the concentrated extract is obtained. The primary benefits of vacuum freeze drying include the retention of color, flavor, and nutritional properties of the material, as well as protection for sensitive compounds due to minimal heat exposure. This technique is employed in the production of fruit powders, herbal extracts, and nutritional supplements. Sugar-released extraction. Sugar-released extraction enhances the extraction of aromatic compounds by utilizing natural sugars to facilitate the breakdown of plant materials. In this method, sugars are added to the plant materials, promoting cell breakdown and allowing flavors and essential oils to be extracted into the sugar medium. After extraction, solids are separated from the liquid extract through filtration. The main advantages of sugar-released extraction include the enhancement of flavor profiles through the synergy of sugars and a gentle extraction method that preserves delicate aromas. This method is particularly suitable for applications where sweetness is desired, such as in flavoring beverages, desserts, and confectionery products. What is Rotovap 20 rules? 42. The 20-degree rule serves as a general guideline for optimizing the temperatures of your Rotovap bath and cooling liquid. Ideally, the bath temperature should be set to 20 degrees Celsius higher than the boiling point of the substance you intend to evaporate. Conversely, the cooling liquid should maintain a temperature that is 20 degrees Celsius or lower than the vapor temperature. For instance, if the boiling point of your substance is 40 degrees Celsius, setting the Rotovap bath temperature to 60 degrees Celsius, along with a cooling liquid temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, creates the most effective setup. Additionally, it is crucial to consider the pressure values during the distillation process. For example, to produce ethanol with a boiling point of 40 degrees Celsius, a pressure of 175 millibars is necessary. In contrast, if you are aiming for water production, a pressure of 72 millibars will be required. The table below shows the pressure values according to the processing temperature degrees. Pot still distillation. The pot still system is a traditional distillation apparatus used for producing high-alcohol beverages such as raki, whiskey, and brandy. Unlike modern distillation methods, which can effectively separate congeners from ethanol, Pot still stills operate on a batch distillation principle. Typically crafted from copper, these stills come in various shapes and sizes, tailored to the desired production quantity and style. The alembic distillation system is a notable derivative of the pot still. In the production of ethyl alcohol with an alcohol content of 45% ABV, the distillation process is performed twice. The initial distillation stage, known as the wash still, yields a distillate with a specific gravity ranging from 7% to 25%. The second distillation focuses on achieving a concentration between 25% and 60%. Distillation occurs at temperatures ranging from 78.2 to 78.4 degrees Celsius, with the product divided into three sections: head, heart, and tails. The heart section, which constitutes approximately 65% of the distillate, is the portion used for beverage production. The remaining segments include 15% head and 20% tails. The head section may contain undesirable compounds such as methanol, aldehydes, esters, and acetates, which are more suitable for use in perfume production. Tails, conversely, can be used in the production of fusel oils. Alembic distillation. The alembic distillation method comprises two interconnected vessels designed for liquid distillation. This apparatus typically consists of three components: the cucurbit, which holds the liquid to be distilled and is heated; the head, or cap, which collects vapors from the cucurbit; and the receiver vessel, where the condensed liquid flows. The cucurbit is heated to vaporize the liquid, and as vapors rise into the still, they cool and condense upon contact with the walls, subsequently flowing into the receiver. The alembic still is a direct descendant of the pot still and continues to be used for various distilled beverages. Continuous still. The continuous still, also known as the patent still or coffee still, comprises two columns and is designed to produce rectified high-alcohol beverages, up to 95% ABV. The first column, known as the analyzer, allows vapors to rise while wash descends through multiple levels. The second column, or rectifier, further processes the alcohol, resulting in a concentrated distillate. Continuous stills exemplify fractional distillation, allowing for a narrow cut of distillable components. Unlike pot stills, which operate in batches, continuous stills enable a sustained distillation process, offering higher alcohol concentration in the final product. This method is commonly employed in the production of gin, grain vodka, and whiskey, as well as in the traditional production of bourbon and other American whiskeys. Reflux still. Reflux distillation, a variant of column distillation, typically yields alcohol with much higher purity but less flavor compared to pot still distillation. The width and height of a reflux system largely determine the purity of the produced distillate and the rate of production. Distillation separation ratios. Separation ratio for professionals: foreshots 5%, head 10%, heart 65%, tails 20%. Separation ratio for home distillation: foreshots 5%, head 10%, heart 60%, tails 25%. Foreshots. This initial portion of the distillation is discarded entirely. Methanol is produced at temperatures around 64 to 65 degrees Celsius. Head. This fraction may be repurposed as biofuel after redistillation. Ethyl acetate appears at approximately 77.1 degrees Celsius. Heart. The primary component used for beverage production, ethyl alcohol, is generated between 78.2 and 78.4 degrees Celsius. Tails. Like heads, tails can also serve as biofuel after redistillation, containing compounds such as propyl alcohol at 97 degrees Celsius and butyl alcohol at 117.5 degrees Celsius. Points to consider in the distillation process. The distillation process always requires a production process based on knowledge and science. When conducting this production, you can harm both yourself and those around you. Therefore, there are essential considerations to keep in mind. To prevent methanol poisoning, be aware of the temperature at which your chosen distillation apparatus needs to operate. Know the temperature and pressure requirements for your pressure distillation apparatus. Understand the cleaning required after production. Any residue left can poison you. Be mindful that cores, peels, and debris of materials can lead to poisoning due to unseen parameters. Cleaning should not be done directly with dish soap. You will see this in detail regarding hygiene. To prevent accidents in product and production areas. Since produced products are volatile and flammable, ensure that your ventilation and cooling systems are effective. Your electrical contacts should be secure and reliable to prevent electrical leakage. Store your products using vacuum bags, bottles, packages, and other types of vacuum systems to avoid exposure to air. Keep your products in a cool, dark place. Never proceed with work using incomplete materials. If no one in your team has a chemistry background, or if your connection to chemistry is low, seek support from laboratories working in this field. This support may relate to the production process and product quality. Thoroughly read the manuals for equipment usage. Equipment in your toolkit should be secure and reliable, and work should not be done carelessly. Ensure that production environments are sterile and hygienic by not entering with foreign materials such as clothing, jewelry, necklaces, and earrings. Personal hygiene rules that apply in all food and production areas should be adhered to: no hair, beard, nails, nail polish, perfume, etc. Importance of hygiene. Good hygiene is critical to preventing the spread of infectious diseases and helping children lead long and healthy lives. Hygiene in distillation. The quality of the distillates produced, whether they are water, volatile oils, alcoholic beverages, or fuel alcohol, depends on how well the distillation equipment is cleaned and maintained. Before using your still for the first time, clean it thoroughly to remove any contaminants that may have remained on the surface during manufacturing. Cleaning should be done regularly after each use, between batches, or especially for commercial distillers when switching from one spirit to another. This removes contaminants such as sulfuric acid that may accumulate on the surface during distillation from fermented mash. Copper oxidizes when exposed to the environment, turning a bluish-green hue and eventually becoming nearly black. Patina is the natural color that emerges from using copper metal over time. Some individuals try to maintain the copper's natural color by regularly washing and polishing it or coating it with benzotriazole. Others do not mind the tarnishing, but this applies only to the exterior surface. On the other hand, stainless steel stills will immediately show dirt and stains on their surfaces. Stainless steel is easy to clean but requires periodic washing to remain spotless. Cleaning agents used for distillation systems. Citric acid solution. This solution is used especially for copper and steel stills. It is applicable for both pot still and continuous still systems without distinction. 4% hydrochloric acid, spirit of salt solution. This solution is used for glass equipment in steam distillation systems. Acetone. This is used for parts of the rotary pressure distillation system, excluding the water bath. Soft soap and water. This is used to clean the water bath component of the rotary pressure distillation system. What happens if hygiene is not properly applied? In distillation processes, residue buildup can lead to methanol production, causing the formation of bacteria during bottling or storage of the product. These incidents can result in severe and even fatal situations. What happens in methanol poisoning? Methanol poisoning can result in central nervous system depression, visual disturbances, abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting, prompting patients to seek emergency care. In these patients, there may be increased anion gap metabolic acidosis, confusion, and in severe cases, coma or even death. Forbidden to use methanol in beverages. Points to consider in the ultrasonic extraction and homogenizing process. Ultrasonic extraction and homogenization are powerful technologies that can significantly enhance the efficiency, purity, and quality of food and natural product formulations. However, like all advanced processing techniques, they require careful attention to operational parameters, equipment handling, and material compatibility to ensure consistent, safe, and scalable outcomes. This chapter outlines the critical technical, safety, and procedural factors that should be considered during the design and implementation of any ultrasonic process. 1. Material compatibility and purity. The first and most fundamental consideration is the compatibility of the materials involved, both the sample and the equipment. In food and natural product processing, materials should always be food grade, free from leachable contaminants, and chemically inert under sonication. Probe material. Only use probes made of medical or food grade titanium, e.g., grade 5T6Al4V, to prevent erosion and contamination during prolonged exposure to cavitation. Avoid aluminum or steel parts that may corrode or release particles into your sample. Solvents and liquids. Ensure that any solvent or carrier, e.g., ethanol, oil, water, or glycerin, is safe under ultrasonic agitation. Volatile solvents may increase vapor pressure and pose risks. Temperature control. Ultrasonic cavitation generates intense localized heat. Even when processing cold or ambient temperature materials, temperatures can rise quickly, potentially degrading thermosensitive compounds such as enzymes, vitamins, essential oils, or unsaturated lipids. Monitoring. Continuously monitor the temperature of the mixture using an inline probe thermometer. Control strategies. Use an ice bath or jacketed vessel. Apply intermittent pulsing, e.g., 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off, to reduce heat buildup. For high-value materials, integrate active cooling systems like water recirculators. 3. Sonication parameters. Achieving optimal homogenization or extraction requires precise control over the ultrasonic parameters. These settings must be adjusted based on the viscosity, particle size, and density of your mixture. Amplitude determines the intensity of cavitation. For gentle emulsification, lower amplitudes, 20–40%, are often sufficient. For tougher extractions, e.g., lignin-rich roots, higher amplitudes, 60–80%, may be necessary. Duration. Processing time should be optimized to achieve maximum yield without degradation. A typical duration ranges from 2 to 15 minutes, depending on material sensitivity. Pulsing mode prevents overheating and allows for better cavitation control in temperature-sensitive systems. Volume to probe ratio. The probe tip should be fully submerged but not too deep. For best performance, keep volume sizes proportional to probe diameter to ensure even energy distribution. 4. Vessel shape and mixing dynamics. The container's shape and the fluid dynamics within it influence how energy is transmitted through the sample. Narrow, tall vessels improve cavitation intensity by keeping energy concentrated near the probe. Wide or shallow vessels disperse energy and may require longer sonication. Manual or magnetic stirring during sonication can enhance uniformity in larger batches. 5. Emulsion stability without emulsifiers. If lecithin or other emulsifiers are not desired, as is often the case in clean label or minimalist formulations, care must be taken to optimize phase ratios, sonication strength, and cooling. For oil-water alcohol systems, slowly pre-mix the phases before sonication to reduce stress on the emulsion. Maintain consistent shear throughout the emulsion zone. Store at low temperatures to preserve stability. 6. Cleaning and cross-contamination prevention. Contaminants from a previous sonication session can easily transfer to the next, especially when processing potent actives or allergens. Immediately clean the probe with distilled water and alcohol after use. For sticky or resinous materials, use ultrasonic self-cleaning in water bath mode, or wipe thoroughly with food-safe solvents. Avoid abrasive cleaning pads, which can scratch and degrade the probe's surface. 7. Safety precautions. Ultrasonic equipment is powerful and can cause injury or damage if mishandled. Wear hearing protection. Probes often emit high-frequency acoustic noise. Avoid touching the active probe tip during operation. Cavitation can damage tissue. Use protective shields in lab environments to avoid splashing and accidental exposure. Ensure that the sonicator is grounded and shielded from flammable solvents. 8. Scalability and reproducibility. Pilot scale processes may not directly translate to commercial scale. When scaling up, maintain proportional energy input with L. Replicate the same amplitude to volume ratio. Ensure consistent probe immersion depth and vessel geometry. Use inline ultrasonic flow cells for continuous processing if batch methods are insufficient. 9. Analytical monitoring. Regular testing is essential to evaluate the quality and consistency of ultrasonic products. For extracts, measure total phenolics, antioxidant capacity, or specific bioactive compounds via HPLC or UV-Vis. For emulsions, analyze particle size distribution, zeta potential, and stability over time. Record temperature, amplitude, and processing time for every batch to create reproducible SOPs. Ultrasonic extraction and homogenization are sophisticated, highly adaptable techniques that can be transformative when properly implemented. Attention to operational details, from probe material and vessel shape to amplitude and temperature, can mean the difference between a successful product and an unstable or degraded formulation. By mastering these principles, professionals in the food and natural products industries can unlock new levels of efficiency, purity, and functionality, while reducing reliance on additives and minimizing waste. Understanding and preventing contamination in ultrasonic extraction, UAE, ultrasonic assisted extraction, UAE, has rapidly become a preferred method in the food, pharmaceutical, botanical, and environmental sectors for isolating valuable compounds. Praised for its speed, efficiency, and solvent-reducing benefits, UAE is a cornerstone of modern green extraction technologies. Yet, like any advanced method, ultrasonic extraction is not immune to contamination risks. The integrity of an extract depends as much on the purity of the sample and reagents as it does on the cleanliness of the equipment and the care taken during processing. In this chapter, we examine the common sources of contamination in ultrasonic extraction and provide practical, validated strategies to mitigate them. Sources of contamination in ultrasonic extraction. 1. Improper cleaning of equipment. A leading cause of contamination is inadequate cleaning between sample runs. UAE systems, whether using probe-type sonicators or ultrasonic baths, require meticulous attention. Ultrasonic bath and probe residues. Without thorough cleaning, residues from previous extractions such as plant pigments, oils, solvents, or even microorganisms can remain on the probe or in the bath, leading to cross-contamination. Glassware and tools. Even trace residues in beakers, flasks, or stirring rods can alter extraction results. When handling sensitive samples, assume all contact surfaces must be pristine. 2. Solvent impurities and degradation. The quality of your solvents matters immensely. Low-purity solvents. Non-analytical grade solvents may contain impurities that interfere with extraction or collude with analytes in later analysis. These unwanted compounds can compromise both extraction yield and safety. Ultrasonic-induced degradation. Some solvents, particularly under high-intensity ultrasound, can degrade into byproducts. For instance, prolonged sonication of ethanol at elevated temperatures may lead to the formation of aldehydes or esters that contaminate the extract. 3. Sample-related contamination. Contamination doesn't always originate in the lab. Sometimes, it begins with the sample itself. Pre-extraction handling. Dust, microbial growth, or foreign matter introduced during collection, transport, or grinding can carry over into the extract. Matrix interference. While not traditionally labeled as contamination, co-extracted compounds from the sample matrix can complicate purification. For example, excessive chlorophyll in leaf extractions or lipids in seed materials may obscure or degrade desired compounds. 4. Environmental contamination. Extraction environments, particularly those not set up for sterile or precision operations, can inadvertently introduce foreign material. Airborne particles. Laboratory dust, textile fibers, or even skin cells can settle in open containers during sonication. Microorganisms. Extended exposure to open air, especially in humid or warm conditions, can lead to microbial contamination. This is particularly critical when working with biological samples or preparing formulations for consumption. 5. Equipment wear and cavitation effects. Sonication involves intense mechanical stress. Over time, even the most durable components can degrade. Probe erosion. With repeated use, ultrasonic probes, typically made from titanium alloys, may begin to erode at the surface. This microscopic wear can release metal particles into the sample. While titanium is generally inert, its presence is undesirable in food or pharmaceutical-grade materials. Cavitation-induced reactions. Ultrasound can initiate oxidation, free radical formation, or breakdown of thermolabile compounds, especially under high amplitude or long durations. These reactions can create byproducts that compromise the purity of the extract. Strategies to prevent contamination in UAE. 1. Strict cleaning protocols. Glassware and equipment. Clean all tools thoroughly using laboratory-grade detergents, followed by rinses with deionized water and the same solvent planned for extraction. Sterilization. In sensitive applications, e.g., microbiological, nutraceutical, sterilize tools by autoclaving, dry heating, or using appropriate chemical disinfectants. Disposable consumables. Where feasible, use sterile, single-use pipette tips, centrifuge tubes, and filters to eliminate cross-contamination risks. Indirect sonication methods. For particularly sensitive or contamination-prone extractions, use sealed containers placed in an ultrasonic bath. This prevents direct contact between the probe and sample, minimizing erosion and contamination. 2. Use of high-purity solvents. Solvent grade. Always opt for analytical grade, or higher, solvents, particularly when downstream processes involve spectroscopic or chromatographic analysis. Freshness matters. Use freshly opened or recently prepared solvents to avoid contamination from container residues or degradation products. 3. Controlled working environment. Clean benches or fume hoods. Perform extractions in enclosed or filtered environments to reduce the likelihood of airborne contamination. Cover open vessels. Keep samples covered with sterile parafilm, aluminum foil, or watch glasses during sonication to shield them from airborne debris. Environmental hygiene. Regularly wipe down benches and keep a clutter-free workspace. In high-sensitivity settings, consider HEPA-filtered laminar flow cabinets. 4. Proper sample handling. Aseptic technique. When handling biological, pharmaceutical, or clinical samples, use gloves, sterilized tools, and aseptic technique throughout the preparation process. Storage conditions. Prior to extraction, store samples in sealed containers, away from moisture and light, and at the appropriate temperature, e.g., refrigerated or frozen, to prevent spoilage or microbial growth. 5. Routine equipment maintenance. Inspect probes regularly. After each use, examine the probe for pitting, roughness, or color change. Replace it as needed to prevent metal leaching. Calibrate and service. Follow manufacturer-recommended schedules for inspection, calibration, and servicing of ultrasonic generators and temperature controllers. 6. Optimize extraction parameters. Avoid excessive sonication. Use the lowest amplitude and shortest duration necessary to achieve the desired extraction efficiency. Excessive power may not only degrade compounds but also contribute to contamination through wear or reactions. Pulse mode. Use pulsed sonication, e.g., 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off, to reduce heat buildup and mechanical stress, extending equipment life and preserving extract integrity. Ultrasonic extraction is a remarkably effective technique, but its precision and power come with responsibility. Understanding the many routes through which contamination can occur, and adopting a system of preventive practices, ensures the reliability of results and the safety of final products. By integrating high-quality materials, strict hygiene, optimized protocols, and regular maintenance, professionals can maximize the potential of ultrasonic extraction while preserving the purity, safety, and integrity of their work. What happens in titanium contamination during ultrasonic extraction and homogenization? In ultrasonic extraction and homogenization, especially in food, pharmaceutical, and cosmetic applications, the use of titanium alloy probes, commonly titanium grade 5, Ti6Al4V, is widespread due to their mechanical strength, corrosion resistance, and acoustic efficiency. However, improper usage or extreme operating conditions can lead to titanium contamination, which presents serious safety and quality concerns. Sources of titanium contamination. Titanium contamination typically occurs due to mechanical erosion of the probe tip during high-power sonication, cavitation-induced wear, especially in acidic or alkaline media, overheating of the probe tip from prolonged sonication or inadequate cooling, chemical reactions with alcohols, strong acids, or bases at high temperatures, surface degradation due to repeated ultrasonic cycles without proper maintenance. Physical form of contamination. Titanium may be released in the form of microscopic metal particles, usually gray or black specks visible in suspension. Titanium oxides, especially under oxidative conditions. Alloy leachates, which may include aluminum or vanadium from the T6Al4V alloy, raising additional toxicity concerns. Health and safety implications. While elemental titanium is considered relatively inert and biocompatible, the inhalation or ingestion of titanium particles or oxides can lead to cellular oxidative stress and inflammation. Accumulation in organs, particularly in the liver and spleen. Unknown long-term effects, especially when combined with vanadium and aluminum. Regulatory concerns in food and pharmaceutical-grade products. Impact on product quality. Contamination not only affects safety but also alters the color and clarity of emulsions or extracts. Introduces off flavors or metallic notes in food-grade applications. Increases turbidity and precipitation over time. Interferes with bioactive compound profiles, reducing efficacy in herbal extracts or nutraceuticals. Prevention and control. To minimize titanium contamination, use pulse mode sonication to reduce probe stress. Ensure temperature control using a cold water or ice bath. Regularly inspect and polish the probe tip. Avoid prolonged contact with high acid or high alcohol mediums. Replace probes showing surface pitting or erosion. Opt for coated probes, e.g., Teflon or ceramic coated, in sensitive applications. Conduct periodic heavy metal testing of output materials. Basic rules for correct application of hygiene. Control the temperature levels during production. Adhere to the rules of the distillation process. Each system has different rules. Regularly conduct cabinet temperature checks. Do not store products that are not in the same category in the same cabinet. Do not store processed products with unprocessed products in the same cabinet. Label products for shelf life and check them regularly. Avoid contact between raw and cooked foods. Use color-coded cutting boards for different types of food, e.g., green for vegetables, red for meat, blue for fish and seafood, white for cheese and dairy products, etc. Wash your hands repeatedly. Keep all production machines and countertop surfaces meticulously clean. Product storage conditions and methods. Extracts, essential oils, and other aromatic derivatives should be stored in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area in tightly sealed containers. Storage should prevent oxygen ingress. However, there is a pasteurization method available for syrup and non-carbonated beverages. The implementation of this method may inevitably result in flavor variations. While natural cold storage and oxygen exclusion options like pasteurization are available for all beverage production, industrial-grade long-shelf-life products are often made with additives such as acids, preservatives, and synthetic flavors. For these products, factors like room temperature and time have little significance. Food and beverage producers identify several factors that affect food quality, including the water content in food, acidity, time, temperature, oxygen, and humidity. Understanding solvents in food extracts. What are solvents and why are they important? In food and flavor production, we often want to capture the smell, taste, or health benefits from ingredients like herbs, fruits, spices, flowers, or nuts. But most of these ingredients don't give up their flavor easily. We need something that can pull out the flavor or aroma from the raw ingredient. This is where solvents come in. A solvent is a liquid that dissolves the useful parts, called compounds, from the plant or food material. When we mix a solvent with an ingredient, we allow time, temperature, and motion to help the solvent extract the flavor, color, or nutrients. The result is a food extract, a concentrated form of that food's essence. What makes a solvent food grade? Food-grade solvents are liquids that are safe to consume and have been approved for use in food by organizations like FDA, United States, EFSA, European Union, Codex Alimentarius, Global. To be food-grade, a solvent must meet safety standards. That means, it doesn't leave harmful residues in the final extract. It won't cause illness or long-term health issues. It is used in the correct amount and for the right purpose. Types of food-grade solvents. Let's look at the main categories of food-safe solvents and how they work. Water, the universal solvent. What it is: pure hydrogen oxide, either distilled or filtered. What it extracts: water pulls out vitamins, sugars, acids, minerals, and some flavors. Used for herbal teas, broths, floral waters, like rose water, fruit infusions. Good to know. Water works well with soft materials, like herbs, but it can't dissolve oils or resins. Ethanol, alcohol, the most powerful natural solvent. What it is: alcohol made from sugar, grain, or fruit, drinking alcohol. What it extracts: both water-based and oil-based compounds, versatile. Used for vanilla extract, herbal tinctures, spice extracts, fruit essences. Good to know. Ethanol strength matters. For example, black small square 40 to 60% alcohol, like vodka, good balance for herbs and spices. Black small square 95% alcohol, strong, fast extraction for resins or essential oils. Alcohol is also a preservative, so extracts last longer. Food-grade vegetable glycerin. What it is: a sweet, thick liquid made from plant oils, like coconut or palm. What it extracts: similar to water, but adds sweetness and works with more delicate compounds. Used for alcohol-free herbal extracts, syrups, kid-friendly tinctures. Good to know. Glycerin is gentle and less drying than alcohol, but works more slowly and may not extract everything alcohol. Monopropylene glycol. What it is: a clear, slightly sweet liquid often used in medicine and flavors. What it extracts: very good at carrying both water and oil-based flavors. Used for liquid flavorings, vape flavors, flavor drops, and emulsions. Good to know. Safe in small amounts, but should not be heated too high. Vegetable oils. What they are: oils from sunflower, olive, coconut, or grapeseed. What they extract: fat-soluble compounds like essential oils, terpenes, and lipids. Used for infused oils like garlic oil, chili oil, herbal balms, CBD oils. Good to know. Oils work well with heat and time, but can spoil if not stored correctly. MCT oil, medium-chain triglycerides. What it is? A highly refined oil from coconut or palm kernel oil. What it extracts? Similar to vegetable oils, but cleaner and more stable. Used for nutritional extracts, like CBD, flavored emulsions, beverage flavorings. Good to know. Doesn't go rancid easily and has no flavor of its own. Food-grade triacetin. What it is? A synthetic, food-safe oily liquid. What it extracts? Mostly used to carry and protect flavors already extracted. Used for commercial flavoring in gum, candy, drinks. Good to know. Not usually used for homemade extracts, but very useful in advanced applications. Supercritical carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide. What it is? Carbon dioxide turned into a liquid under pressure. What it extracts? Essential oils, flavors, cannabinoids, antioxidants. Used for coffee decaffeination, hop extract, spice oils, cannabis extracts. Good to know. Leaves no residue, completely evaporates. Requires special equipment. Lactic acid, acetic acid, vinegar, citric acid. What they are? Natural acids from fermentation or fruit. What they extract? Some minerals, flavors, alkaloids, and colors. Used for pickled vegetable extracts, sour fruit essences, fermented spice blends. Good to know. These can improve flavor stability or brightness but are not used alone. They're usually combined with water or alcohol. Food-grade butylene glycol. What it is? A synthetic liquid that behaves like propylene glycol but has a smoother taste. Used for flavorings, herbal extracts, emulsions. What it extracts? Both water-soluble and some oil-soluble components. Good to know. Must be labeled and used in regulated quantities. Check for USP or FCC food-grade certification. Limonene. What it is? A citrus-scented oil found in orange and lemon peels. Used for extracting citrus aromas, terpene isolation. What it extracts? Nonpolar aroma molecules, terpenes, essential oils. Good to know. Found in natural cleaning products too, but only food-grade limonene should be used in flavor applications. Deep eutectic solvents, NADES, natural compound solvent. What it is? A mixture of natural food compounds, like sugar, organic acids, amino acids, that acts like a solvent. Used for advanced botanical extraction, antioxidant and enzyme recovery. What it extracts? Polyphenols, flavonoids, sensitive bioactives. Good to know. This is a new green technology still being studied but shows strong promise for natural extraction. Food-grade ionic liquids. What they are? Special salts in liquid form that can dissolve a wide range of substances. Used for lab and industrial extraction of heat-sensitive or polar compounds. What it extracts? Alkaloids, pigments, enzymes, antioxidant compounds. Good to know. While still limited in use, they are being developed to replace toxic solvents in food and pharma. Subcritical, superheated water, powerful water extraction. What it is? Water heated to high temperatures, 120 to 250 degrees Celsius, under pressure to stay liquid. Used for extracting flavonoids, alkaloids, and bitter compounds. What it extracts? Polar compounds usually hard to dissolve at room temperature. Good to know. Used in high-end tea, ginseng, mushroom, and spice extracts. Requires specialized equipment. Steam, for distillation, volatile extractor. What it is? Water vapor used to gently lift aroma compounds. Used for making essential oils and aromatic waters, hydrosols. What it extracts? Volatile oils from herbs, spices, citrus, flowers. Good to know. Doesn't dissolve, instead, carries the aroma with the vapor. Natural fermented solvents, wine, beer, sake, mead. Traditional extracting liquids. What they are? Alcoholic liquids made by natural fermentation. Used for macerating herbs, spices, or fruits in traditional liqueurs, bitters, and cooking extracts. What they extract? A wide range of both water and alcohol-soluble flavors. Good to know. Adds its own flavor and character, which may be desirable in culinary or regional extracts. Food-grade hexane, industrial oil and aroma extractor. What it is? Food-grade hexane is a purified petroleum-derived solvent, consisting mostly of N-hexane, used in food processing as a nonpolar extraction agent. Though synthetic, it is refined to meet strict food safety standards and is only used when fully removed before consumption. Used for extracting vegetable oils from seeds, soy, sunflower, canola, O. Producing spice oleoresins. O. Extracting vanilla oleoresin, aromas, or lipid-based flavor concentrates. What it extracts. O. Primarily fat-soluble, lipophilic compounds, such as oils, waxes, and aromatic resins. Good to know. O. Extremely effective and fast solvent. O. Always used as a processing aid, never as a direct food ingredient. O. Must be fully evaporated after extraction. O. Subject to strict residual solvent limits, e.g., less than 10 ppm. O. Not allowed in organic or natural labeled products. Natural, clean label? No. Fully synthetic, petroleum derived. Not suitable. Safety. Checkmark safe when residues are within regulatory limits. FDA, EFSA, Codex. Triethyl citrate, safe solvent and stabilizer for flavors. What it is? Triethyl citrate is an ester of citric acid and ethanol. It's a clear, odorless, slightly oily liquid, approved as a food additive, E1505. Used for O. A carrier or solvent for flavorings, colors, and emulsifiers. O. A stabilizer in aerosol and spray flavor applications. O. Sometimes in chewing gum, beverages, bakery aromas. What it extracts or carries. O. Very useful for fat-soluble flavor compounds, esters, and aroma protectants. Good to know. O. It's non-toxic, biodegradable, and often used in combination with triacetin or MCT oil. O. Also used in encapsulated flavor systems. Natural? Checkmark can be derived from natural citric acid and ethanol, though most commercial forms are semi-synthetic. Faraniol, strawberry ketone, natural flavor enhancer. What it is. Faraniol is a natural flavor molecule, chemical name, 4-hydroxy-2,5-dimethyl-3, 2H, furanone, with a strong caramelized strawberry aroma. Used for O. Adding sweet, jammy, caramel, or strawberry notes to food and beverages. O. A flavor enhancer in fruits, baked goods, soft drinks, liqueurs. What it extracts or acts as. O. Not a solvent in the traditional sense, instead, it is a flavor active compound often dissolved in solvents like ethanol, triacetin, or propylene glycol. Good to know. O. Occurs naturally in strawberries, pineapples, tomatoes, caramelized sugar. O. Used at very low levels, ppm or ppb. O. Can be biosynthetically produced or extracted. Natural? Checkmark if derived from plant sources or bioconversion of sugars. Food-grade ethyl acetate. What it is. Ethyl acetate is a fruity-smelling ester, either synthetically produced from ethanol and acetic acid or naturally occurring in fruits and fermentation processes. Food-grade versions are highly purified and approved as flavoring solvents and extraction agents. Used for O. Decaffeination of tea and coffee. O. Extraction of fruit esters, aromatic oils, and spice volatiles. O. As a carrier in natural flavors and perfumes. What it extracts. O. Volatile aroma compounds, esters, caffeine, and light flavor molecules. Good to know. O. Evaporates cleanly, making it ideal for gentle, low residue flavor extraction. O. Naturally occurs in bananas, strawberries, wine, and beer. O. Synthetic or naturally derived forms both exist. Natural origin matters for clean label claims. O. Residual use in food must follow strict ppm limits. Natural, fermentation, clean label? Depends. Checkmark if derived from natural. If synthetic, possible with natural source plus full removal. Safety. Checkmark approved by FDA, EFSA, Codex. Safe when properly used. Solvent mixtures and synergistic systems. Many extractions employ binary or ternary solvent systems for improved solubility, such as hydroethanolic mixtures, e.g., 70% ethanol, 30% water. Enhances extraction of both polar and semi-polar compounds. Glycerin ethanol water systems, used in herbal extracts with taste modulation. Oil alcohol blends, applied in emulsions for flavoring agents. The ratios and extraction conditions must be optimized depending on the desired constituents, taking into account time, temperature, and solvent to solid ratio. The choice of solvent is a foundational decision in extract production, determining not only the efficacy of extraction but also the flavor integrity, safety, and consumer acceptability of the final product. As the industry evolves, natural solvents, green extraction systems, and biocompatible eutectic solvents are shaping the future of extract formulation. Let's see some of solvents production process. Producing food-grade vegetable glycerin. The production of food-grade vegetable glycerin begins with the careful selection of raw materials. Vegetable oils, such as palm oil, coconut oil, or soybean oil, are the primary sources for this versatile compound. These oils, rich in triglycerides, must meet stringent quality standards to ensure a pure and safe final product. Only food-grade, impurity-free oils are used, as their quality directly impacts the efficiency of the process and the characteristics of the glycerin produced. The meticulous choice of raw materials lays the foundation for a product suitable for a wide range of culinary, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical applications. Once the oils are prepared, they undergo hydrolysis, a process that transforms the triglycerides in the oil into their two main components, fatty acids and glycerol. By heating the oil and water mixture under high pressure, the chemical bonds of the triglycerides are broken, releasing the glycerol. This critical reaction is the heart of glycerin production, producing a crude mixture of glycerol that must then be purified. The separation process follows, where the fatty acids are removed using settling techniques or centrifugation, leaving behind crude glycerol, a liquid still containing water and other impurities. Refining the crude glycerol is essential to achieve the high purity required for food-grade standards. The refinement process includes neutralization to remove residual fatty acids, vacuum distillation to separate water and impurities, and decolorization using activated carbon to achieve a clear, odorless appearance. Each step is carefully managed to ensure the final glycerin is of exceptional quality, meeting regulatory standards for safety and performance. The refined glycerin is then packaged in food-safe containers, ready to enhance food products, cosmetics, and pharmaceutical formulations with its unique properties. The production of food-grade triethyl citrate, TEC. The production of food-grade triethyl citrate, TEC, starts with the careful selection of raw materials. The primary ingredient is citric acid, which is typically sourced from citrus fruits or produced via fermentation processes. The citric acid must meet rigorous food-grade standards, ensuring its purity and safety for use in food applications. Ethanol, a high-quality, food-safe alcohol, is the second critical ingredient. These raw materials are tested for any contaminants before use, as their quality directly impacts the efficiency and safety of the production process. The process begins with esterification, where citric acid reacts with ethanol in the presence of a catalyst, typically sulfuric acid. This reaction occurs at elevated temperatures, where the citric acid and ethanol combine to form triethyl citrate and water. The reaction is carefully controlled to ensure maximum yield and minimize the formation of byproducts. After esterification, the crude triethyl citrate undergoes distillation under vacuum to remove any excess ethanol and water. This separation ensures a concentrated and purified product. The TEC may then undergo additional filtration using activated charcoal or other materials to remove any remaining impurities, resulting in a clear, odorless final product. Quality control testing, such as gas chromatography, ensures the final TEC meets food-grade specifications, free from contaminants and harmful residues. The food-grade triethyl citrate is then packaged in food-safe containers, ready for use in food, beverages, and other culinary applications. The production of food-grade triacetin. The production of food-grade triacetin, glycerol triacetate, begins with the careful selection of raw materials. Glycerol, a compound derived from vegetable oils like palm oil or soybean oil, serves as the primary base material. It must meet food-grade standards to ensure purity. Acetic acid or acetic anhydride, the other key ingredient, is also sourced from food-grade suppliers to guarantee no contaminants are present. In the production process, glycerol reacts with acetic acid or acetic anhydride in the presence of a catalyst, usually sulfuric acid, in a controlled esterification process. The mixture is heated under specific conditions to drive the reaction, forming triacetin and water. The reaction is carefully monitored to maintain the ideal temperature and pressure to maximize efficiency and minimize unwanted byproducts. Following esterification, the crude triacetin undergoes distillation under vacuum to remove water and any excess acetic acid, leaving behind a concentrated, purified product. Further purification steps, such as filtration or activated carbon treatment, are employed to remove any residual impurities, ensuring the triacetin is of the highest quality. The final product undergoes quality assurance testing to confirm purity and compliance with food-grade standards. Once verified, the food-grade triacetin is packaged and prepared for use in a variety of food and beverage applications, where it serves as a plasticizer, stabilizer, and flavoring agent. The production of food-grade essential oil. The production of food-grade essential oils begins with the careful selection of plant materials. Herbs, flowers, fruits, and other botanicals are chosen based on their quality and suitability for food-grade extraction. The raw plant materials must be free of pesticides, contaminants, and other harmful substances to ensure the purity of the essential oil. The extraction process typically involves steam distillation, where steam is passed through the plant material to release the essential oil. The steam causes the essential oils to evaporate, and the vapor is condensed into liquid form. The essential oil is separated from the water, known as hydrosol, and collected. For some oils, cold pressing or solvent extraction may be used, depending on the plant source and desired end product. Once extracted, the essential oil undergoes purification processes to remove any impurities. These processes include filtration, where any solid particles are removed, and sometimes distillation to further refine the oil. Food-grade essential oils are tested for purity and safety using methods such as gas chromatography to ensure no harmful substances are present. The final food-grade essential oil is then packaged in airtight, dark, colored containers to protect it from light and oxidation. It is now ready for use in a wide range of food products, beverages, and flavoring applications. The production of food-grade methyl cellulose. The production of food-grade methyl cellulose begins with the careful selection of raw materials, typically cellulose extracted from plant fibers such as wood pulp or cotton. The quality of the raw material is critical to ensure the final product is safe for food applications. Only the highest quality, impurity-free cellulose is used to produce food-grade methyl cellulose, as the purity of the raw material directly impacts the final product's safety, effectiveness, and compliance with food standards. The cellulose is first extracted from plant fibers through an alkaline pulping process. In this step, the plant material is treated with a sodium hydroxide (NaOH) solution to remove non-cellulosic components like lignin and hemicellulose, leaving behind purified cellulose. This pulp is then washed thoroughly to remove any residual chemicals or impurities that could affect the final product's quality and safety. Once the cellulose is purified, it undergoes the methylation process, which is the core of the chemical modification that produces methyl cellulose. In this step, the purified cellulose is treated with methylating agents such as methyl chloride or dimethyl sulfate in the presence of a catalyst, typically sodium hydroxide. The methylation process introduces methyl groups, OC, into the cellulose structure, replacing some of the hydroxyl groups, O. This modification results in methyl cellulose, a water-soluble polymer with unique functional properties that make it ideal for food applications. Following the methylation reaction, the methyl cellulose is neutralized to remove any residual methylating agents and alkali from the reaction. This is typically done by washing the methyl cellulose with a dilute acid solution, such as acetic acid. The material is then thoroughly rinsed to ensure the removal of any unwanted chemicals or impurities that could affect the product's safety for food use. After the methyl cellulose has been purified, it is dried to remove any remaining moisture. This step is crucial to ensure the stability and shelf life of the final product. Once dried, the methyl cellulose is finely powdered to facilitate easy incorporation into food products. The powdered form is ideal for use in a wide range of food applications, as it can be easily dissolved or dispersed in liquids. The final food-grade methyl cellulose undergoes rigorous quality control testing to ensure it meets the strict safety and regulatory standards for food use. These tests include purity tests to verify the absence of any harmful chemicals, contaminants, or residues, viscosity and gel formation tests to confirm the product's ability to function as a thickening, stabilizing, or gelling agent in food products, microbial testing to ensure the absence of harmful bacteria or pathogens, solubility tests to check the behavior of methyl cellulose in different food formulations. Only after passing these stringent tests is the methyl cellulose considered food-grade and suitable for use in food products. Density and mass calculations. In the context of fermenting alcoholic beverages, gravity refers to the specific gravity, Sg, of the wort or must. It expresses the relative density compared to water at various stages of fermentation. Specific gravity is defined as the ratio of the density of a sample to the density of water, and this ratio depends on the temperature and pressure of both the sample and the water. Original gravity is the specific gravity measured before fermentation, while final gravity is the specific gravity measured upon completion of fermentation. Specific gravity calculation. Specific gravity equals mass of the unit volume of the substance divided mass of the unit volume of water or ethanol. Specific gravity equals weight of the substance divided weight of an equal volume of water or ethanol. Specific gravity equals density of the substance divided density of an equal volume of water or ethanol. Final gravity calculation. The typical dilution observed in most standard beverages is around 75%. Final gravity equals original gravity divided 4. Density calculation. The density of an object is one of the most important and easily measurable physical properties. Densities are commonly utilized to identify pure substances and to characterize and predict the composition of various types of mixtures. Density of a substance equals mass of the substance divided volume of the substance. ppm, parts per million. Calculations. 1 ppm equals 1 mg of solute per 1 liter of solution, assuming water-like density, or 1 mg per kilogram in terms of weight. ppm equals mass of extract, mg, divided volume of solution. Find mg of extract needed. Mg of extract equals ppm, milligram per liter, multiply volume, L, microliter per kilogram, microliters per liter, kilogram. Calculation. Mu L equals mu L of extract divided L of beverages. Micro L calculation. Mg of extract divided density, mg micro L, 900 mg 0, 9 microliters. Usage extract percentage mass of extract, G, divided total mass of beverage, G, multiply 100. End of first chapter. We understand that aroma is far more than a fleeting scent. It is a powerful messenger that bridges chemistry, memory, and emotion. In understanding how aromatic compounds interact with our sensory system, we begin to see flavor not as a singular experience, but as a symphony of perception shaped by both biology and culture. This chapter has laid the groundwork for exploring that symphony, revealing how aroma guides our responses to food, drink, and even place. As we move forward, we carry with us a deeper awareness of the invisible forces that shape what we taste, remember, and feel. Understanding aroma is not just a matter of science, it is the starting point of intentional, sensory storytelling.